the young Remainer, co-founder of anti-Brexit campaign group Our Future, Our Choice, claimed any pro-Brexit argument has been dismantled by negative reports on Britain's exit from the European Union. The furious Wetherspoons founder tore into the Remainer claim and reminded him that Brexit doom claims are simply not true. Speaking on ITV's The Exchange began when Mr. Dry said, "Now, I think a lot of people in the country are fed up with about people who do not realize that the case for leaving has been kind of dismantled. Because more and more events, day by day, are happening which weaken the case for leaving. Take Airbus today, that's 14,000 jobs. That's 110,000 jobs when you include the supply chain, that's £1.7 billion they contribute to the British taxpayer. That's around a fifth of the money they pay to the EU is supposedly the Brexit dividend that is coming back. So please explain to me, Tim, how on earth, when all these companies are leaving and not going to be investing in this country, we are going to have more money after Brexit?" The Brexiter hit back and said the Project Fear claims were exaggerated. He said, "You would have heard at the time of the referendum forecast from the great and the good, like the one you've just mentioned, that we were going to lose 4,000 or 5,000 jobs in the immediate aftermath of the vote. Just voting to leave would frighten people. Actually, the country has created 400,000 jobs in the first year, more by now, I believe. Household income, in spite of the gloom, are at record highs. It was said that the bankers were all going to leave. That was the most major aspect of the Project Fear. They haven't. Employment in the city has gone up. You'll hear these things from people, particularly if they are trying to frighten people. Especially if EU-linked business like Airbus, and it's just not true. Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Japan, they all do very well and they're not in the EU." In response, the young Remain campaigner said, "We were told, essentially, Project Fear, but now events have vindicated to an extent that I don't feel Project Fear anymore, I just feel fear." The Remainer demanded normal and regular people stand up and say Brexit is a complete mess. Mr. Martin blasted, "That's just not true." Airbus CEO Tom Williams warned on Friday the company could pull out of the UK with the loss of thousands of jobs in the event of a no-deal Brexit. In a statement, the chief operating officer of Airbus Commercial Aircraft said Brexit would have severe negative consequences for the UK aerospace industry and Airbus in particular in any scenario. While Airbus understands that the political process must go on, as a responsible business we require immediate details on the pragmatic steps that should be taken to operate competitively, he added. Therefore, immediate mitigation measures would need to be accelerated. Without these, Airbus believes that the impacts on our UK operations could be significant. Mr. Williams later told the BBC's Today programme that thousands of Airbus jobs could be at risk if Britain has a no-deal Brexit. In response to the comments from the Airbus CEO, a government spokeswoman said, "We have made significant progress towards agreeing a deep and special partnership with the EU to ensure trade remains as free and frictionless as possible, including in the aerospace sector, and we're confident of getting a good deal that is mutually beneficial." Given the good progress that we are continuing to make in the negotiations, we do not expect a no-deal scenario to arise. The government is working closely with companies to understand their concerns ahead of leaving the EU, and alongside industry will invest almost £4 billion by 2026 to ensure the UK remains a world leader in civil aerospace.